Hello everyone and welcome to The Hell Am I Playing? Well, the hell I'm playing is Ghoul School for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Released in 1992, it was developed by Imagineering and published by Electro Brain. Now, this game was a special request by longtime friend and supporter of the channel, the Retro Queen Gamer. In fact, we have her to thank not only for me playing this game, but me being able to play this game, period. When she heard that I needed a new controller to continue playing my games and making my videos, she immediately said, I got you covered. In fact, I think her response was something along the lines of, I can't have my nights going out and not having the equipment they need. Now, Ghoul School is, well, it's not exactly a very hard game in the sense that it's like, you know, difficult controls or really tough timing or lots of difficult jumping or, enemies that are difficult to adapt to. It's more difficult in the sense that you kind of jump into it without knowing what you're doing. And even though I think this game has been erroneously called a Metroidvania and a survival horror game, it's really got nothing to do with survival horror. And it is kind of Metroid-like. In fact, I would probably compare it more to Metroid than anything else. But it lacks pretty much all Castlevania elements, except for maybe some of the monsters. But if you just jump into the game, like say back in the early 90s you rented this and you just plugged it into your Nintendo and played it, or, maybe more recently you grabbed an emulator and just booted up the game, you'd jump in there and not really know what you were doing. But if maybe you found a copy of Ghoul School at the store and you took a look at the back of the box, or you opened up the instruction manual, you'd have a better idea of what was going on. In fact, we're going to take a look at both the back cover of the box and the instruction manual so we can get a deeper appreciation for the lore and story of Ghoul School. But as you already heard over these last couple of minutes, the game doesn't have any opening music. I don't want to just sit here in silence, so maybe I should put on some appropriate kind of creepy music. Alright, there we go. So why don't we first things first take a look at the back cover. Alright, Ghoul School. Suddenly, surviving high school has taken on a whole new meaning. Ah, high school. Remember all the football games, homecoming dance, and all the high school spirit? Yeah. Literally, in the case of Ghoul School High. One day, Spike O'Hara, a senior from the Academic Institute of Ghoul High School, found a glowing skull in the local cemetery. Finding that would prove to be a disaster. Spike brought the skull to his teacher, and it is from here that our ghostly tale unfolds. The skull ends up being a beacon, a homing device, for all the spirits and monsters of the realm of the dead. Via the unearthly Doom Cloud, the creatures led by the hideous King Cornea, the Ghoul Master, have landed upon Ghoul School and set up their base of haunt operations there. These nasties have rounded up and transformed all of the teachers and faculty. Hey, they even turned the biggest witch of a teacher into the most terrifying sight that could ever befall student eyes. What's that, you ask? Well, let's set the bellows tolling for you today. This is one group of school enthusiasts that would love to see you fail. These deadheads have not only taken over the school, they've sacked the football team and the local ghoulie extermination team as well. To boot, they've stolen all of the exterminator's weapons, and they are holding them for an assault on whoever enters the school. Sure, you think it's going to be a cakewalk now. Have you ever been face to barrel But a Dewytron? Surely there must have been a reason for so many to enter a haunted school. Oh yeah, there's one more problem. These ghouls from a land down under have sort of captured your dream girl, Samantha Pompom, the beautiful head cheerleader of the school. She's being held somewhere in the school, and you've got to find her. Everyone before you has failed, but don't let that discourage you. Explore over 200 different rooms, take on the worst demons can give, and find an arsenal of mysterious weapons and items. As Spike, it's your duty to right the injustice you've caused. Both the school and Sam are counting on you. You're the last hope for their survival. Once you enter, you can't leave until you finish the job. Suddenly, surviving high school has taken on a whole new meaning. So there you go. That's the story you would get looking at the back of the box. And that's not too bad. That kind of gets you going a little bit. Kind of gets you interested and excited. But let's say that was enough. That was enough to say, I'm going to buy this game. And then you open it up and you take a look at the instruction manual. So here's the story as it appears in the instruction manual, along with a little bit of artwork. Alright, circa Halloween, 1991. One day, Spike O'Hara, senior of Ghoul School High, was walking home from school. The date? Wednesday, October 29th, 1991. And then over here we can sort of see, here's some artwork of Spike, and there's the skull he found. As he was accustomed to, Spike cut across the local cemetery, which provided a shortcut home. As he entered, a gleam caught his eye. Spike walked over for a closer look. And when he found the source, he was astonished. There sat at the base of a grave a skull. Spike stooped down, unearthed the skull, and discovered it was engulfed in a psychedelic glow. A storm front suddenly blew in, and Spike was caught in it. He decided to bring the rare skull to anatomy class the next day. He scooped it up, put it in his backpack, and headed home. The next day, Halloween Eve, Spike showed the skull to his teacher, Dr. Ernest Femer. The doctor was so impressed. And there you go, there's the doctor, and there's our hero Spike. The doctor was so impressed, he asked to keep the skull for special study. Spike agreed, but he was worried because the skull was twice as big as it was the day before, and it glowed more than ever. So that's something unusual. Skulls don't usually increase in size. He thought the skull was laughing at him. As the doctor placed it on the pedestal, outside the storm raged on. This entire episode disturbed him, but he shrugged his shoulders and with the doctor left the room. Once alone, the skull transmitted a message to the realm of the dead. The ghouls had begun their assault. Spike's concern of the day, however, was finding a date for tomorrow night's annual Halloween dance. The only person to cross his mind was Samantha Pompom, the beautiful head cheerleader, but alas, she had already been asked. To make things worse, she had a date that night with a mysterious unknown named Frank. He was totally bummed out, so he slipped quietly out of the building and headed home. That night, Spike dreamed of clouds darker than coal dust descending on Ghoul High. He was haunted by laughter. He dreamed of ghoul teachers and a rescue of a girl. There was an immense bolt of lightning, a crash, a scream, and hurried footsteps. Shadows entered the school. Spike at home slept, heard or saw nothing. Spike awoke that Halloween morning to terrible news. His dream girl Samantha had been kidnapped, and she was last seen with a lumbering hulk in the vicinity of the school. And there she is with the lumbering hulk. Dinner? Dancing? Movie? No, kidnapping. She was being held there. Spike would go to the rescue. By now the school was enveloped by a glow. Spike watched football player after football player enter the school to attempt the rescue, but none ever returned. Reports rolled in about a haunted school. Spike watched the city's most popular exterminators pull out massive equipment and enter the school with it. They were the Spirit Ridders Task Force. They too, along with their equipment, never returned. Even the Spirit Ridders were not to return, then who would? Where was all of their ridding equipment? Finally, Spike could sit no longer. Could there be a link between Samantha's disappearance and the activities in the school? It was time for Spike to take matters into his own hands. Spike braved the storm and entered the school. As he entered the school, a voice called out, "Come to me, my pupil. I am the Ghoul Master. Come to me and see what is mine." The door slammed shut behind Spike and locked. Suddenly, surviving high school had taken on a whole new meaning. Alright, so that's going to do it. Let's close that out. And let's stop the music. I do dig the music. But now it's time to actually jump into the game. So the first thing you notice is we got 5 lives. And there we are, there's Spike, and I'm moving back and forth with the directional key. Nothing happens if I press down, at least not here. And nothing happens if I press up. But if I press up near one of these lockers, I can hide in it. Let's see, B will swing our weapon, and A will jump. Select doesn't do anything, but if we hit start, we can see our inventory screen. Right now our weapon is the bat, and our footwear is the sneakers. And there's one of our enemies. I think they're called optics, or optos. It does say so in the instruction manual, but I don't have that open anymore. Now so far it's pretty straightforward. You see enemies, you hit them. Okay. This enemy here, this kind of Medusa head looking thing, to the best of my knowledge, you can't take this enemy out. I haven't tried every weapon, and the instruction manual does say you get points for destroying it, so maybe it is possible. So you walk around these hallways, you see some doors. You can actually go in the doors if you press up. This takes you into a classroom. We have a new enemy. Actually, I think I can get around this enemy. And in here we find a green apple that restores some of our health. Come on. Spike kind of needs to get going a little bit before he makes his jumps. We took more damage than we healed. Well, we healed, but then we took as much damage to getting out of here. So you might think, don't we want to explore all these rooms? Check them all out? Well, we can. But a lot of them we don't need to. Now this one has a TV. And if I do this right, we can smash it. And we get a red apple. Red apple heals us, I think, to full. So I compared this game earlier to Castlevania. Not Castlevania, Metroid. Because it's really a lot like Metroid. We got this big school we have to explore. There are all kinds of enemies to deal with. And there's going to be obstacles in our way that we're not going to be able to get past until we find the right equipment. Sometimes that equipment is going to be weapons, sometimes it's going to be new footwear. Now this is a tough place to explore, but there are some ways to make it easier. You may notice if you look at the top of the screen, we got our health bar up there. It tells us we're in a hole, we have the bat equipped. It shows our health, our score, it shows our enemy health. But really important, it shows what room we're in. So right now we're in room 7. If we go in here, we're in room, well, we would have been in room 59. I jumped out quick because I did not want to deal with that little enemy. So it almost feels like this game wants you to map it out. And it's not easy. So we're in 7, we want to go down here. So to make my life a little easier, I actually have a map here that I'm using. So using this map makes it a lot easier to get to where we want to go. So our first stop is going to be down here in the locker room. We'll leave you alone. So now the hole has changed color. It's taken a kind of pink color. This kind of lets you know that you've gotten to a new area. And that it's just not another hallway. Now I can hide in the lockers here, which is probably what the game developers had in mind. Just whack the enemy a few times, hide in the locker, come back out. So, the controller I'm using here does have an auto fire option. That's making my life a little easier. So let's go in here. And now we're in room 92, the lockers. And we're going to meet some new enemies. Ouch. Now I've been calling these guys zombies, but the manual calls them Frankenstein's monster. So we got ourselves a new weapon. We have the towel. It hits a little harder than the bat, and seems to have more range. But as you saw, it also has another trick. You can hit enemies that are behind you. Alright, so here are the showers. Yep, showers hurt you. They do have a pattern. Oh, we are gonna die. Alright, so we lost a life. But we get to start wherever we just were with everything we earned. And all the enemies we killed, well, they stay dead. Alright, we're gonna keep going. Now we're in the gym. And I'm just doing really bad. Knock that sign up, and that's gonna stop those basketballs from hitting us. So if you didn't know what you were doing, you didn't know where you were going, you would just have to sort of wander around until you found rooms like this, where things are going on. Oof. Jumped right into that enemy. Didn't want to do that. I wanted to jump on that barbell there. Because what I can do is I can just stand on the barbell to avoid, or try to avoid it when it throws dumbbells. And if I hit down, I'll just drop back to the floor. Not quite. Alright, so you got some big looking weightlifting equipment here. But if you're paying really careful attention, right below us, yeah, we just found our newest set of shoes. We have the spring shoes. They make us taller. They also let us jump much higher. So being taller, we may end up, in a position where enemies can hurt us more. Enemies that we'd normally be able to walk under might be able to hit us. But now we can jump so much higher. Look at that. So again, like with Metroid, you gotta find your power-ups to get around. So in this case, we found the jumping power-up. But we're not done yet. Alright. That right there is one of the worst enemies in the game. These little eyeballs, they are fast, and they are hard to hit. In fact, we don't have a weapon yet that can technically hit it. So what I'm just going to do is run for it. Come on. Oh, really? So you see that body down there? Don't touch that body. It's a bad body. But looky what's up there. And if I can get it, you'll be able to see what it is. Why is this game giving me such a hard time? We just got the Deweytron. It's our first projectile weapon. It does not do, well, good damage at all. But it does let us attack from range. Now, I think this will work. Yeah. So we were able to jump over the wall and get into the locker room. Saved us the trouble of having to go back. So let's see if we can find an enemy to use this weapon on. You'll do. So look at that. Not the greatest damage, but because we got a rapid fire controller, it does help. So the biggest advantage here is being able to attack enemies from a distance. Now we got two new weapons actually, but now we want to move on. So we're in room 7. We're gonna go this way to room 12. We have these crates here that I would not have been able to jump over if we did not have the shoes. Now I'm actually gonna switch. We could poke our heads inside. There may or may not be something in here to help us out. Well, I'm not going to say that really helps us out, but getting an apple recovers some of our health. So most of my what the hell am I playing videos are usually pretty short. But I think we can actually finish this game. Okay, Deweytron. We can take out that little guy. That's not going to be the only one, though. And they're faster than us. Good, now we don't have to deal with you anymore. But you saw down here, the hallway's different. We're in 21. 21 is our first look at the elevator. But the elevator's not working right now. It's going to be up to us to fix that. We are now in the library. Be quiet. You don't want to talk in the library. We're not alone in the library. The eyeball monsters are here, and they're attacking us with new tricks. They've got some ranged weapons too. Read silence. They're not alone in here. You didn't get to really see that monster, but it's like a, I don't know what you describe it, kind of like a stick figure. But we did get the digester ray. It's another ranged weapon. It kind of fires downward. So it does let us hit enemies we might not normally be able to. It's not really that much stronger than the Deweytron, though. But let me see, we're in 17? And this will take us to 19? Yep. 19's kind of a long hallway. Okay, we're in a bad area. But I'll try to show it off. Let's go to the Deweytron. This is a bad area because those Frankenstein monsters are here. But these ones are super strong, faster than us, and can kill us with pretty much just a hit or two. I do not suggest doing what I'm about to do, which is try to lure one out and open fire on it with a Deweytron, because it's not a good way to kill it. Okay, what is a good way to kill it, though, is to just almost let it get next to you and hit it with the back swing of the towel. Okay, but we're not going to do that. Because there's a better way to deal with them. It involves us. You dang bats. Can we make it? Nope. But maybe if we put on our spring shoes. Nah, so we know you're here. Better take you on with a towel. And we're gonna go down. Ouch. Let's try taking you on with the Deweytron. No, still hit us. I am in the right room, though. Yes, we're in 27. I've so far let each and every one of these enemies hit me. Okay, but now we're in a blue kind of hole. That means something new and different is happening. It's also a short hole, too. Now, this is the office. Now, somewhere in the office is something we can whack. It's going to make those Frankenstein monsters less dangerous. Is it you? Yeah, destroying the clock in here will take care of the zombies in 24. Is it this clock? That must be it. But towel doesn't cut it. Why? Because it's a towel. There we go. But we're going to put on our digester ray, because here comes the Grim Reaper. And defeating the Grim Reaper, we get the Grim Reaper Sickle. Really, really strong. Short reach, though. But there are enemies that we will absolutely want this weapon for. Look at that, we're still getting points. So things should start getting easier at this point. We've got a really strong weapon. We got our jump shoes. You know what else this game kind of reminds me of? At least in kind of tone, kind of style? Goonies. Or Goonies 2 for the Nintendo. And here I was, talking up the sickle, and it does nothing to that enemy. Okay, so we are in 23. We want to go back to 24. That's the room beneath us. Those zombies, those Frankenstein monsters, hopefully aren't going to be here anymore. And they're not. Let's poke our head in one of the rooms. We could use some healing. Now, not all these rooms are going to have healing in them. This one does. And we're dead, so what does it matter? No sound here either. No, we are walking all the way to the end. So we are now in the cafeteria. And we got our new weapon, the sandwich. So, good for food fights. Actually, pretty strong for a ranged weapon, too. And since we throw it in sort of an arc, it can hit enemies that are on the ground. Not that one, though. That one is being clever and knew exactly where to go to avoid us. But the same is not true about that big one. You see that slime there? That's an enemy. But our sandwich does not hurt it. What about our digesteray? That does. There's another one in the mixing bowl. I really wish we could hit that little bugger. And there, that's what we want. That golden apple not only filled up our life, but now it's right there between weapons and shoes. It's right there between weapons and shoes because that is a very special item. That golden apple of the Norse gods, that cuts damage we take in half. So we are now really decked out. But we haven't made really much progress, have we? We've just been kind of picking up weapons and stuff. Well, now it's time to start putting these shoes to good use and exploring rooms that we couldn't before. But we're going to have to more or less walk all the way back to where we came in. Now, I think we can go... Oh, trouble. We're in 16? I think we can take 16 to 12. No, we're in 17. There's 19. There we go, 16. Thought we killed you. 12, 12 to 7? Take that. Sandwich kind of looks like a burger to me. pretty strong too, look at it. It's hitting for probably as hard as the bat. Okay, so we take 7 and we're in 13. We came past 13 on our way to the locker room. But I didn't spend much time down here, because there were more important things to get going the other way. Okay, this should continue to... Yeah, 29. 29, we're going to need our spring shoes. I wonder if these bats want a sandwich. The world may never know. I mean, I want a sandwich. I kind of always want a sandwich. Okay, we're gonna go up. Well, yeah, let's go up. Oh, you little troublemaker. Can I hit you with a sandwich? No, but we can hit you with the Deweytron. So the holes have changed color. We are in the nurse's room. Look, they got a little anatomy chart of the enemy. Ah, taste my sandwich. And here we get the Spinal Zap. This may be one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful weapon in the game. You tag an enemy with this, and they're pretty much done. Problem, though, is it only hits them if they're, like, right there. So, can't do anything here. There are spikes. I'm gonna switch back to Digestary and just hope we can hit these eyes as they come running at us. So is that all of them? I think so. So we're in 30. We're going to go down to 29. And we're going to go down again to 31. Actually, let's try using the Spinal Zap. If I can get really close, yep. Just takes them out with one shot. Okay, we want to go down to 33. And 33 is a special area too. But look, there are these enemies here. Even if I hit them with a Spinal Zap, nothing. Let's try something else. Let's try Sandwich. Nothing. Sickle? We gotta use this sickle for something, right? Nope. We have very special enemies here that we do not have the weapons to deal with. So we're just gonna have to keep going. So 34 goes down to 35. Well, that's not too bad. And we're going to need our spring shoes to get over these. And hopefully the Digestary. Nope. Okay, let's just run for it. So once they get this close to you, not a lot you can do. They don't do a lot of damage, but oh boy, these are just terrible enemies. Oh, it's a monkey! So we're in the auto shop, and there are monkeys here, and they're going to throw wrenches at us. Probably monkey wrenches. But we have the tools, we have the talent. We can deal with them. They're kind of low to the ground, though. So that does make dealing with them a little tougher. But there is our next item. These are these suction cup shoes. With these shoes, if we can we can sort of stick to the ceiling if we jump around. Alright, I don't think we're gonna make it. Let's find out. No. So if we jump up here, we put on our suction cup shoes, we can now walk on the ceiling. And there was an area not too far from here where walking on the ceiling would have probably been useful. So yeah, still don't have any way to deal with those enemies. So we're in 31. We want to go this way. Now I'm hoping that we can get an apple or something to heal. There we go. Not a lot, but it was something. So we're still in 31. We want to go to 29. Back up to 30. This is where we found the spinal tap in the nurse's office. So yeah, we were here. We weren't sure how to get past those spikes. But now we can. We can just walk right past them. Okay, we're in room 38 now. And look, there's the janitor. Now, he can't bother us. We're up here on the ceiling. But you know what? When we drop down, he still doesn't bother us. He's just a janitor. All he wants to do is clean up in peace. So as long as we leave him alone, he'll leave us alone. But now we're in the music room. I don't know if a sandwich is going to cut it in here. Seems that it is, though. That was Beethoven. Oh, plant monster. Sandwich ain't gonna do it. Digestery isn't gonna do it. Duitron? Nope. How about the spinal zap? Nope. How do we deal with a plant enemy? Well, we go do some pruning. So if we didn't have Death's Sickle, we would not be getting past these enemies. Yeah, but what did we even bother coming here for? You see that blue bottle up there? That's the embalming fluid. Embalming fluid, actually pretty darn powerful. No range though. But it can hit enemies on the ground. So it's good for those little buggers. Oh, nope. Is he still mad? Okay, he's not mad. And we've almost got every weapon. Yeah, Only one left. And there is one left. There is a super secret special weapon. It is not required, but oh boy, if you can get your hands on it. I kind of like that if, you know, you're upside down using the embalming fluid, it kind of changes a little bit. Like gravity affects it. I think that's a nice touch. So we're going to be able to stay on the ceiling as long as we keep going from room to room that has a ceiling. But now we need to go down here. There's no more ceiling for us. Well, actually, I think if I do this... So a good way to avoid enemies. But we're going down here. And we can actually walk away from most of these enemies. Not all of them, most of them. But that's not what we're going to do. We have the weapon that can kill these things. So we are, well, we're really well along at this point. I'd say we're really close to finishing the game. 2/3 maybe? Not quite halfway, more than halfway. And there's a special boss. Kind of like a spinal column and a hip bone. So I'm sure you already see where we're going with this. Our only weapon to take out this terrible thing. It even has its own special death animation. So there's a room back here. I've never taken the time to look at it. Probably not worth it. Especially with that little sucker. There is a TV. If we smash that TV with our bat, red apple. To heal all that damage we took getting the red apple. So why did we go through all that trouble beating that spinal column? Well, because it was the guardian of the elevator. And now we can take the elevator wherever we want to go. In fact, what we want to do is we want to go to the roof. So we're going to hold the up button. And we're going to keep holding it. And we push past 4. Now we're on the roof. So really not as much to check out on the roof as you might think. But let's see if I can do this. If I miss this jump, it's game over. Made it. Walk along the flagpole. We've gotten to the other side of the building, and we've now fallen into room 106. It's the anatomy room. This is where this all started. Remember? Remember that skull that was laughing at us? there it is. Oh, and you're alive, huh? How about a sandwich? You want a sandwich? Sandwich will damage it. Not a lot, though. Forget what's the better weapon to use on this thing. Can we hit it with a spinal zap? Yeah, we can. Alright, ouch. We are really close to the end of the game at this point. And we're in the hole. And looky over here. We've made it on the opposite side of this enemy. Can we hurt you? There's only one weapon I haven't found. Oh, and we're dead. Game over. So, here's where I can really say that the game's really not that difficult. Because even though we lost all our lives, we got a game over. If we start the game, we have all our stuff. So all we need to do is get back to the other side of this room. And since we're here, we have every weapon but the last weapon. Let's try them out. See if there's anything we can do to hurt this. Nope. Kills you with one hit. If we weren't doing this for fun, just to kind of screw around and see what happens, I would not suggest doing this. Yep, none of our tools are going to do the job. So, we gotta find an elevator. Now you saw that there were a couple of elevators. It wasn't just the one that the spine was protecting. There are a couple of them. I think there's, what, 6 of them? There are 6 or so elevators. They each bring you to different rooms. Ouch. Come on, you. Eat sandwich. So we're gonna go to the nearest by elevator, which is over here in room 11. So we want to go back up to the roof and get back to room 39, but we have an option. If I can hit this, nope, we're in room 21. There's actually a secret room in between 2 and 3. You need to get the needle in between the 2 of them and, well, hit the A button. Which is probably what I'm doing wrong. I hope this doesn't take too long. Alright. If I can get this to work, we're just gonna zip forward to it. If I cannot get this to work, well, I'll just cut ahead. So bear with me. Alright, it took a little while, but I got it. It wasn't between 2 and 3, it was between 1 and 2. And this brings us to Warp Zone. So with the Warp Zone, we can take different rooms, well, we can take different sets of stairs, or go through this room to get different areas. We're going to go through here, and we make it to room 39. This is where we want to be. This is the whole right outside of the anatomy class, where we fought the giant skull, and right over here where I got killed by Medusa. So what we want is actually right here. We don't want to go down any of these other rooms because they lead to room 40 and 41 and really nothing going on in those rooms. What we want to do is put on our suction cup shoes. And this is probably something I don't know if you'd figure out on your own. We want to get to this door and press up to go through it, which leads us to the crawl space. So in the crawl space, actually sandwich is fine. Spring shoes though. Here in the crawl space, the map doesn't help us anymore. We do want to keep going to the right though. We can see the monsters in other rooms. Okay, so sometimes we're going to need to go up, sometimes we're going to need to go down. But the important thing is keep going to the right. Now, if there's an enemy, that's not necessarily enough to say whether or not you went the right way. But we're just going to keep going right. I think we're going to alternate up and down. Working for us so far. Not here though. Can I hit you with a spinal zap? Make my life a little easier. Yep. Yeah, it's a bit of a trip. But we've made it. We're in the air ducts. So this is sort of our last maze that we have to go through. We're going to jump up here, and I'm going to check the map that I have here, which has been making a world of difference in playing this game. So we are where? We're in room 42. So we go in here and look, rats. Or do we got small little enemies giving us trouble? We also kind of got these, I don't know, these kind of ghost looking things. don't think the sandwich helps. But we are going to take the long way around to get a very special weapon. Oh, there's the skull again. Is that the big skull that gave us trouble? I don't know. So we want to go in here. And then we want to go this way. Past the rat. There's the skull again. We're not going in there. We are going in here. And looky, we got the gamma gun. Gamma gun is the strongest weapon in the game. Now we gotta go back the way we came. Don't go in there. Rats. Rats are the worst. Well, those little eye monsters are probably worse. So we just went through there. So we go back this way. And now we want to go... where? We're going to go this way, back the way we came. So here are the air ducts. We go to the left this time. And we go in here. And we go to the right. I tell you, I would have been lost without a map. I would have just been aggravated and I wouldn't have known what I was doing. I'm still not entirely sure what I'm doing. So we go all the way to the left. Very last door. And we've made it to the basement. The music has changed. And there is no map to help us. The toughest of the toughest enemies are going to be down here. So there is no map here, like I was just saying. I just have to walk around and hope I can find the right room. Monkey. Oh, there's a big tough enemy right there. But we can shoot its spines out of the air so we can hurt it. Honestly, if we didn't have the gamma gun, we probably couldn't even challenge those things. There's another big nasty enemy, only shows up at this part of the game. Oh, remember those guys? Had to use the embalming fluid on them. Ah, there we go. Full health. This is it. This is like the last leg of the game. All we have to do now is find the boss. Don't bother with rats. Little enemies. Little enemies, they're the ones that ruin everything. Let's try going up here. don't think this is it. Oh, you thought you were going to get me, huh? I don't think we can use the enemies as a good gauge of whether I'm going the right way or not. I don't think it's going to be necessarily that the tougher enemies mean right way, weaker enemies mean wrong way. I know if I see a big floating heart, I'm going the right way. Gamma gun ain't bothering it. Why wouldn't the gamma gun bother it? Well, maybe because it's an organ. But the embalming fluid bothers it. So I probably don't even need to kill it. I can just sneak by it. Okay. And there he is. The boiler room. The big bad boss of the game. He's gonna shoot lasers at us. But we're just way too strong for him. We got the gamma gun. We got our spring shoes. And now we can save Miss Pom Pom. So let's get her out of there. And we did it! Still racking up our points, though. Alright, and there we go. Spike and Sam have saved the day. Ghoul School has turned back into Cool School. And she's just kind of stepping away. You know, after all that trouble, and she just not interested. Still doesn't want to go to the school dance with poor Spike. So this is it. This is Ghoul School. I don't think anything happens from this point on. I've never just left it here to see what happens. But, you know, we'll leave it here for a little bit while we talk. So, what did I think? I kind of liked it. But if I didn't know where I was going, if I didn't know what I was doing, I don't think I would have. There's not enough feedback in the game, and even with all that extra time we spent in the beginning, reading through the manual, reading through the back of the box, it's still not enough really to go on. And I know part of games like this is the exploration, is the, you know, just trying different things out, you know, failing, dying, talking with other people, and of course checking out your Nintendo Power magazine. But, you know, just honestly, if I did not have, like, these maps here in front of me, I think I would have found this game more tedious than fun. Because I would not have had the enjoyment, really. I would not have enjoyed wandering through, like, 200 rooms that all pretty much look the same. However many of those rooms being classrooms that you don't even need to go into. But, you know, maybe the game wanted you to sort of design your own map. And that was a pretty common thing, even back, you know, at this time. So it could very well be that you had to go in there and map where you were going to figure out where you need to be, what's where, go through it a couple of times. And, you know, each time you get a little further, until you finally figure out, well, I need to go here, I need to go there. But, I don't know. I don't think I would have, at least not in this game's case, I don't think I would have really enjoyed it. there wasn't enough here for me to really, sink my teeth into. I like the idea of the haunted school. I like the idea of going through here and exploring, and as you find the equipment, more and more the game's map opens up to you. And maybe that's part of it. There's not really a lot to find in this game's map. We compared it to Metroid, we compared it to Castlevania. There are lots of little things to find in those games. Power-ups, missiles, bombs, weapons. In this game, there's some of that. There's really not enough to make it worthwhile. Especially not to explore 200 rooms. Something like the golden apple, how it made you take less damage. Maybe if there were more things like that. Some way to expand your health bar. Ways to power up your weapons. Well, I think we've watched this ending screen enough. So I'm going to thank you very much for watching. This was kind of a long one, but I think we had fun. I hope you had fun, and I'll see you in the next game. Take care.